He shoots. He scores. He scores. Rangers win.
Welcome back to Fireside Rangers, coming off of a huge New York Rangers season opener win. I'm your host, Anthony Rivardo, joined by my co-host right here, Eric Wilson. Eric, how you doing today? You pumped up, man?
I'm doing great, dude. You know, it's like the Rangers won a game that actually matters, you know, and it was against the Lightning, which makes it like even sweeter because they took us out of the playoffs last year. The only thing that like I'm kind of upset about is that they somehow found a way to mention Ryan Strome during the broadcast. They apparently said he was a loss on the power play. I kind of look at that as a win.
That's a win for sure. And I think Trocheck actually played a pretty decent game. He had a couple shots on target. I thought that he played well on the second line along with Panarin.
Right.
So before we really dive into, who we thought stood out the most, I want to get your take on it. What did you think of the new first line, Kreider, Zibanejad, and Kaapo Kakko moving up to that right wing position? How do you think that he performed personally? I thought Kakko played a pretty good game. So what are your thoughts on Kakko's performance tonight?
I mean, I think it was perfect. You know, he didn't put in any points, but on that first line, you had Zibanejad who put in 2 goals. Kreider picked up an assist, and Kakko really carried that puck with a lot of confidence. And it's kind of looking like we're going to get to the point this season where he is going to break out and starting to put up those points. You know, unfortunately, it didn't happen tonight, but just the way looking at him play, the passes he made, the confidence, and the skating, it's going to be a big season for Kaapo Kakko. And I'm really happy that he performed well on that first line.
For sure. And I mean, last time we saw the New York Rangers play, it was against the Tampa Bay Lightning, Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Kaapo Kakko, a healthy scratch. So really exciting to see him step into that first line role in the first game of the New York Rangers season against the Tampa Bay Lightning and put together a pretty solid performance. But no one played better. Well, arguably Igor Shesterkin. We know Igor is better. The chants were going crazy at Madison Square Garden. That was great. But nobody played better in terms of the attacking play than Mika Zibanejad. Mika Magic was in full effect with the shorthand goal, the 5v5 goal. He was phenomenal. Eric, what are your thoughts on Mika's performance tonight?
I mean, we knew we were going to get a big season from Mika. He's arguably been one of our better offensive forwards throughout the last couple of years. There's a reason why he's our first line center. I wasn't expecting him to come in with 2 goals in the first game, but he did. And, you know, the shorthanded goal was a beautiful goal right there with a little backhand snipe. And then he also scored the power play goal. It was Goudreau who had the 5v5.
Okay.
But the power play goal was also a beautiful shot. You can't expect more from him. He wins faceoffs. He does what he needs to do. He scores goals. And, like, that's all you need from a first-line center. And we got it.
Yeah, I mean, it really was a dominant performance by Mika Zibanejad. The 2 goals, really couldn't ask for any more. And I want to touch on Igor Shesterkin because it was another great performance from him. I mean, I thought that Vasilevsky did play great. You know, it's really hard to score on Vasilevsky, but the Rangers just put up so many shots in comparison to what the Tampa Bay Lightning put up. I think they put up double the amount of shots in total.
Yeah, I mean, right here, the final shot was 39 shots for the Rangers and 26 for the Lightning.
39 on goal and 26 on goal. So, but in total, I think the Rangers definitely put up more shots than that. And I know at one point it was 36 to 18. They did have double the amount of total shots at some point in the game. And that really was the key difference maker in this game, just challenging Vasilevsky versus the Tampa Bay Lightning, not challenging Igor Shesterkin enough. And when they did challenge him, he's Igor. You know, he did a phenomenal job. He had a bunch of great saves. And what are you thinking about Igor Shesterkin's performance to start off the season?
I mean, it's a thing in the NHL where if a goalie has like a phenomenal season one year, it's like very rare that they repeat those same like stats and numbers the next season. But, you know, again, it's only game 1. But based on what I saw tonight, it's kind of looking like Igor is still in that number 1 goalie in the world form that we've seen. The 1 goal that they let in tonight, it was a Steven Stamkos slap shot. Like, it was like 87 miles an hour, I'm pretty sure is what I saw. You're not stopping that, you know. Not his fault whatsoever. But then, you know, at the end, you mentioned the shots were like 36 to 18. After that, we only put in like 3 more shots, and then the Lightning just really came in with that final third period push to try to tie the game. And Igor really held us in it. Definitely wouldn't say carried, but he kept us in the game more than we probably should have been. But, you know, Igor is phenomenal based on what I've seen so far. He's not letting up any steam, and he's going to continue to lead this team as he has.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And like you just said, the goal that the Tampa Bay Lightning did manage to score. There really wasn't too much that the Rangers could do about that. Again, 3v5, 5v3. That was a tough situation for the Rangers to be in. They placed themselves in a difficult spot there, and the Tampa Bay Lightning came away with the goal. But I do want to give, kind of have a discussion now over Vitaly Kravtsov. This is a guy who just can't seem to catch a break, leaves the game. I think it was in the first period with an injury, kind of just got thrown up against the glass and shoved to the ground. It was an awkward fall. It was a tough hit. So I don't know, kind of an interesting situation here now. I think he was playing on the second, he was playing on the second line alongside Trocheck and Panarin, and he did leave the game. They had to elevate Lafreniere to the second line. I don't know exactly what the update is on Kravtsov. I don't know how long they're estimating he'll be out. It's probably too soon to know that, but what are your thoughts on, Kravtsov being injured, just kind of the fact that he can't catch a break for as long as he's been playing or competing at the NHL level? And what do you think that the Rangers should do going forward to supplement that loss?
Yeah, I mean, just to break down what you started that off with, it definitely is too soon to know anything. I'm assuming we'll know his status by the next game comes around, which is Thursday night. From what we saw with Kravtsov, it's like, I flip-flop in my mind all the time how I feel about him. Sometimes I love him. Other times I'm like, why is he back? So what happened tonight was not his fault. Just another tough break, as you said. Obviously, we wish the best for him. Hopefully it's a speedy recovery and we will see him back on the lineup. But as of right now, we kind of just got to look towards what we need to do with the second line. We saw Lafreniere step up into the second line tonight, and it worked for tonight. He didn't put in any points, but he didn't hurt the team whatsoever either. So now we kind of just got to figure out who we're going to bring in. It's probably going to be Dryden Hunt to fill in that vacant spot. But, looking at what happened to him, it didn't look that bad. We thought originally that he would be returning to the game, and it kind of just went from he'll be back later in the first. And we're he'll be back in the second. He'll be back in the third until we received confirmation that he will not be returning for the rest of the game. So, it's kind of one of those things you got to take day by day and just wait till we get an official announcement for.
Yeah, and I'm scrolling through Twitter real quickly. I'm seeing that Rangers fans are saying they're kind of sick of Kravtsov. They're being pretty hard on him. But Gerard Gallant did provide an update after the game. He referred to Kravtsov as day-to-day. So I guess we'll see. We'll probably provide you with an update on that right here on the channel. But we'll know more about the severity of the injury tomorrow. So we'll provide an update in the coming days as we gear up towards Thursday's game versus the Wild. But interesting enough to discuss, seeing Kravtsov leave and, of course, Lafreniere step in to that role. But, Eric, who else stood out to you in this game? I know, obviously, Goody had the goal, and, I think that the Rangers played pretty well defensively. But what are your main takeaways from this matchup?
So, two things I want to note right here. One, it's yes, Barclay Goodrow did score a goal tonight. It was a beautiful deflection goal. But at the same time, he also had 6 minutes of penalty minutes. He was in the box 3 separate times. So it's yes, you can do as much as you can scoring a goal to build onto that lead. But at the same time, you need to be more responsible defensively because, as many goals as you put in, it will not do any justice if you're still causing the Lightning the scoring, to score goals. But then leads into my second part, which is the special teams tonight were phenomenal as well. The power play went 1 for 4, which isn't anything too crazy. It's again, it's only the first game of the season, but just looking at a 25% power play success, if we can maintain numbers like that for the rest of the season, that's easily a top 10 power play in the league, which we finished in 4th last year, which was a big part of our success. And you look at it on the penalty kill aspect, we went 5 for 6 on the penalty kill, which is great numbers. The one power play goal that was let in, again, not Igor's fault, just a Stamkos 5v3. Little slap shot right there. But overall, I think the penalty killing and the power play were 2 huge factors that came into this win,
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I think that the Rangers really took care of business in every facet of the game. They did it all defensively, offensively, special teams, as you mentioned. It really was a truly excellent way to start off the season, man. You can't ask for much more than that. A 3-1 win over the defending champs. Not the defending champs, but
the defending Eastern Conference.
Exactly, defending champs of the Eastern Conference. The Tampa Bay Lightning, always a formidable opponent, but the Rangers coming out on top to begin the year. Of course, Rangers undefeated in the regular season against the Rangers last year. Hopefully, they keep that up this year, and they can go ahead and keep the streak alive and get the season started off on the right foot.
And then just another big thing that we continuously mentioned throughout the offseason was our face-off numbers. The Rangers have never been that good face-off wise throughout the last couple of years. Looking at these numbers right here, the Rangers won 63.8% of face-offs throughout this game. That's like a huge number. Usually we get satisfied with like a 52% face-off win percentage, but 63.8, that's very close to 3/4 of face-offs won. So that was a huge factor to play right there as well.
It was. It really just was a great performance. Again, Mika Zibanejad standing out the most with the 2 goals. Got a pretty cool stat here before we wrap up this video. Mika Zibanejad opened the scoring, giving him 10 points in 7 career season opening games for the Rangers, becoming the 6th player in franchise history to score at least 10 career points in season openers. I believe he actually made that 11 because I think this was tweeted out before the 2nd goal of the game. So, again, a dominant performance from Mika Zibanejad, putting him in the history books for the New York Rangers.
The craziest thing that just blew my mind about that stat is that Mika Zibanejad has been on this team for 7 years. I remember exactly where I was when he was traded to the Rangers, and it does not feel like it was 7 years ago.
My, how time flies, right? But that'll pretty much do it for this one, Eric, unless you got any last-minute thoughts.
Just phenomenal win, and it's a really good sign for what's to come this season,
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree. It was a perfect way to start off the season again against a very good performance, or against a very good team in the Tampa Bay Lightning. A solid performance from all the top stars, and I really like the lines. Jar Gallant put together a pretty solid lineup for tonight's season opener, and I'm excited to see what the Rangers put out on the ice on Thursday night. But make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy this video. Comment down below who was your MVP of the game. Any of your thoughts on tonight's game, let us know down below. Get hyped, celebrate in the comments. We'd love to do that with you all. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Ring the bell so you don't miss an episode, and we'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one, and let's go Rangers.
Let's go Rangers.
He shoots. He's